Good evening. It is Miss Afia the Diva, and you know what song is playing over and over in my head? And no, believe it or not, it's not a Prince song. All I got is shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. Okay. What in the hell is wrong with Katt Williams? Well, we all know what's wrong with Katt Williams. No doubt. Dude is bipolar. Excuse me, y'all making all this noise. Dude is bipolar and basically in denial about it. So in this recent escapade, downward spiral of what's going on with Katt news, apparently something happened where his family showed up at some restaurant, I guess, where was it, in Chicago, Detroit, somewhere up north, I think. And the people told them it was reserved. I guess someone decided to act real ignorant at the restaurant. And next thing you know, next thing you know, Katt came and he threw a salt shaker at the restaurant manager. And the restaurant manager lip was all cut up from the assault that came upon him from the salt shaker. And I was like, if he put some salt in his wounds, it might be okay. I mean, I don't know, but I just see a lawsuit coming Katt's way. Last time we talked about Katt Williams, I posted an article on this page and it turned into a freaking circus. I will never understand where the hell that conversation went. And let me just bring it up to speed. This was during the time when Katt Williams and the 17-year-old young man got into an altercation. After some sort of soccer game of some sort. I still have yet to understand what all of that was that transpired. But I guess he was popping off at the mouth, and Katt felt like we are black people, and I subscribe to It Still Takes a Village, and he popped the dude in the mouth, and so he got arrested, and I think the young man did too, because the young man, basically was defending himself because he wasn't the first one to fire off. Now, there are certain things that can be used to set off someone, certain words that the Supreme Court has set up, but right now that escapes me. And the last time I picked up my bar study books, I think was about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I need to take the bar again. Anyway, so basically, I was saying that Katt was in the wrong because you do not hit a minor, a child. By law, if you are under the age of 18, that is not the age of consent. That is not the age of majority, and you are still considered a child, and your parents are still responsible for you unless you are an emancipated adult. Yes, we live in a world where children can be very disrespectful, but at the same time, we as adults must use some restraint. However, in Katt's case, because he is probably going through what we know as a manic period, I'm assuming that maybe this was an involuntary action. I mean, I don't know. But either way, what I was trying to say was about this conversation that we had about this particular topic. But some young woman came on there. I don't know where she was from. I don't know if she was disturbed in mind. I don't know, but she felt led to say that that child deserved it, and that I don't understand why you people are not in agreement with me. And when I was 15 and my now husband was 21, we met and we got together, and I said, so did your family know about this? And she was like, well, yeah, they knew. And I was like, so what does a 15-year-old have in common with a 21-year-old? This is kind of like a what's that girl's name? Kylie Jenner and Tigger, whatever his name is, situation right here. And your family was perfectly okay with you all. Your husband was a pedophile. And of course, she was like, no, we didn't do anything. Well, did he touch you? Did he kiss you? That is inappropriate touching. An adult touching a child. You are still a child. That's molestation. And if y'all did anything else of sexual nature, that is also, he could have very well been arrested for that. And she's lucky that the statutes of limitations has ran. And I'm like, why would you put something like that out on social media? But one thing I have learned about social media is that it takes all kinds. And I do mean all kinds. And speaking of which, my friend posted an interesting thing. We're talking about disciplining children. Some people have done these studies where they are saying that parents who discipline their children the biblical way cause children to grow up being having low self-esteem and lack social skills. They are aggressive. And I forgot what else. Let me see if I can find it on her page, because I was just like, I'm so tired of people always saying it, because I'm just going to be real. I got my butt beat a few times, and I turned out just fine. Aggressive behavior, low self-esteem, poor parent-child relationships, and mental illness. I think you have to have a predisposition for that, for the mental illness, number one. Now, there are things that all of us are going through that I know a lot of people are going through. But usually, low self-esteem, that could come from anywhere. That could come from school. Look at Lil' Kim. She's a prime example of low self-esteem. And I'm not tearing her down. We really need to pray for that sister. But, and I'm going to segue into that here shortly, but let me stay on topic. The whole point of corporal punishment is not coming from a place of hate or anger. It's coming from a place of love. Now, some people aren't going to agree with that because maybe that's not what they grew up with. But trust me, growing up, I've seen the result of what it's like to deal with people who have no discipline, and their children grow up not to be disciplined. And we all have to deal with them in the workplace, in higher ed, and it is annoying. Maybe if you had gotten a little spanking every now and then from a place of love, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But I know that personally, I'm very confident. I'm resilient. What else? I don't per se suffer from any type of mental illness caused from being punished, or questioning who I am. But, I will say this, the debate is going to continue on, but my whole thing that disturbs me about it, especially in the Black community, for us, is the fact that so many of us, when we, it's okay for the police and other powers that be to beat our kids or discipline our kids, but we can't discipline them. And when we don't discipline them, you look at us and say that we're bad parents. And I'm saying us. I personally don't have any children, but I'm just saying in general, speaking in general, you're saying that we don't raise our kids and we have to hear things like they're animals or whatever. But then I see, others whose children are out talking to them like they would talk to, I don't know who they would talk to like that. But I said that right there might grow up and shoot up a school. I don't know. Because I saw some things while I was traveling that disturbed me deeply. Like this one little white kid, he couldn't have been no more than 10 or 11, was popping off in front of the TSA officer. I'm like, when did he get any type of authority? What taxes is he paying? Okay, did he pay for this trip for y'all? Because I ain't seen him on no TV commercials. I'm just saying. But, it's just one of those things. And then just to talk about self-esteem briefly. Ladies, let me tell you something. There was a time when I questioned my looks and who I was and what my self-worth was. At some point, You all are going to arrive at a place where you're going to figure out that you should not allow society to define who you are and tell you what you are. You need to build up enough self-confidence to learn to love yourself. I see a lot of self-hatred. Lil' Kim, I brought her up just a few minutes ago. It's very painful to watch. It's very disturbing to see such a beautiful young woman destroy herself. She has gone from being black to Blasian to just all out white. And I assume the only thing I can think is that it is because of the damage that was done by the notorious B.I.G., Biggie, Frank White, Christopher Wallace. It's my understanding that prior to him making a big break in the industry, they were in a relationship. And then all of a sudden he left her and ran off and married Faith Evans, a light-skinned black woman. Not to mention, he also had an affair, allegedly, with the likes of Charlie Baltimore, another light-skinned black woman. And so Lil' Kim questioned her self-worth, and she thought that maybe that if she got a boob job and started bleaching her skin, then maybe it would make her more attractive because she feels so unpretty. And there's a quote going around, and I don't know if this is what she said, but for all intents and purposes, she essentially said that the reason, men used to tell her she wasn't pretty enough, she wasn't good enough, she was ugly. But Lil' Kim, I don't know if you'll ever see or hear this, but I want you to know that I always thought you were pretty. I respected you as a lyricist. I can still probably do every song along with you if I'm listening to the CD of hardcore. You were part of my college experience. The lyrics, they were dope, they were hard, and I thought you were cute. It wasn't necessary for you to go and make yourself a light-skinned black woman. I mean, hell, right now you look like Rachel Dolezal, or what Rachel Dolezal was trying to get away from, and that's saying a whole lot with someone trying to run away from being white and want to be black, and you don't want to be black and you running white. I mean, it's really sad, and I know it happens a lot in some of these African countries too, where these African women are bleaching their skin. But Prince. So far reports are coming out right now that Prince died when they found him. I guess maybe in his pocket or somewhere on his person. He had some Percocet on him. I don't know if it was a bottle or whatever. We'll probably never know what really happened to Prince. Honestly, I really don't care. But what I wanted to say in that stead is that Prince was a man just like any of us, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. He was, to us, superhuman. And as one of my friends said, his mortality, I don't think any of us ever saw him. He was kind of a superhuman in some respects. But so what if he was addicted to Percocet? He's gone. And he's not coming back. At least not this lifetime. And I just know he was human. And that when you have spent 40 some years doing the splits, walking in high heels and just jumping and just giving the best performances of your life because you're doing something you love so much and you want to give the world your gift. You want to share it. It could happen. He did, however, choose a religion that did not or does not believe in blood transfusions or any type of sharing of bloods of others. And in and of itself, to me, that, everyone has the right to choose, but they say he had corrective surgery, so I don't know what that entails, because really he needed both hips replaced. And I guess even with the replacement, he still had pain. And so that's why he was on Percocet. Let me tell you something, it could happen to any of us. And I see now that's why the military doesn't give us, when at least not when I was in boot camp, they gave us what we call Army candy. Motrin, 800 milligram, or they would give you naproxen, which is essentially a leave. Because Lord knows I was in a lot of pain. I got injured during a training maneuver. And somebody fell on my back and injured my back. And to this day, God, how long has it been? 19 years later, I still have issues with my hip. But the pain is not as great. I've managed to manage it thanks to the help of my chiropractor. So, I mean, it could happen. It could happen to any of us. We could end up with a powerful sedative, a powerful painkiller. Quite frankly, that shit shouldn't have been on the market. The FDA should have never put it out. But they do what they want to do. But meanwhile, they make a big hoopla about weed. I personally am not a weed smoker or a consumer or purveyor of it. But if it should ever come down to it, where I have an illness that's a matter of life and death, something like major cancer, which I think part of the problem when it comes to diseases like that, the healing cannot take place because there is no nutrition in your body because you're so nauseated from the treatment. I think weed would come in handy. I think maybe Prince probably should have considered, getting some weed. I don't know. Maybe they don't allow that either, but hell, I would have. Anything to make the pain go away a little bit more naturally. And let's just be real, marijuana, apparently you just pick it from a tree or bush or whatever, and you can roll it up and smoke it. As far as I know, the cocaine and heroin and all that stuff has to go through some sort of process to become what it is. So, same thing with Michael Jackson. He had an accident, and look what happened. He ended up addicted to that's bad when you can't sleep. I mean, I suffer from insomnia. I mean, look at it, it's almost midnight here, and I'm still freaking up. But yet struggle to get up in the morning. But I kind of know what's going on with that, so I'm just like, change is coming real soon. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about with you all? Because I made a list and I have totally forgotten what the hell it was I want to talk about. So we talked about Prince. We talked about, Beyonce's Lemonade. Real quick. So I want to tell all you educated Harvard grads, Northwestern School of Journalism, Beyonce's Lemonade is not necessarily about her relationship, and people keep saying it. And at first I thought it too when I initially watched the video. But Beyonce, first of all, didn't write those poems. Some of those poems had been written long before Beyonce came along. I believe her name is Wasson. God, her name escapes me. But anyways, her family is from Africa, and she grew up in England. Very talented lady, a poet laureate. And so she wrote those poems. And people keep saying in newscasters like on Good Morning America and all this stuff, well, it's about, it's speculations that Jay-Z's relationship and Beyonce, he cheated on her. They're having trouble in their marriage. That ain't what that's about. That's about the story of any of us. All of us been stuck on stupid. All of us been with some man that treated us like crap at one point. Or even some of you men have been in a relationship where the women have treated you like shit. And you're just like, I'm going to stick with it. It's just like, bottom line is this. Just know that Beyonce is a marketing genius. She does it better than any other I've ever seen in this lifetime. Sex sells. And so does controversy too. If there's a fire, guess what? Folk are running to it. Oh my God, there's a fire. And they're running. They're off. So y'all done ran into the burning building. Good for you. Sell those records. $18. Now, what I don't get, though, is why people keep saying that the video was boring. The video is what pulled me in first. The album, I had to give it a second listen in order to appreciate. The first time, I almost damn near fell asleep. I said, what? The video was exciting me. You know, people were talking about it was boring. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. It was very colorful. It kept my attention. And I really was listening to this poetry. I mean, 60 days of, fasting and washing yourself in bleach. I was like, what does this mean? Oh my God, this is so deep, I can't get into it. But, you know, we learned what hot sauce was, and I need one of those myself personally. Can I get a bottle named Hot Sauce? My friend Diva said she set a phone booth on fire. That's what's up. Shit, set that shit on fire. But anyways, I just thought it was hilarious. Oh, and one more topic before I go. I saw that Funky Diva had talked about this, and I have no idea what's going on. I guess Target has now made it okay for people to choose what restroom to go into. And there's a concern about transgendered people and the possibility that people with bad intentions could be in the restroom with you. I think that Funky Diva made a good point, and I thought about it. I said, that's true, because you never know who's been in the restroom with you. You just don't know. Lord knows there are some lady boys out there that put me to shame as a woman. I'm like, damn, you got a butt like that? Dang, no, you fine. I can't say the same for Caitlyn Jenner. I know some of y'all be riding for Caitlyn Jenner, but I'm sorry. He just looked like a man with a wig on. I'm sorry. No boobage is going to help that. I mean, that's one that was really intended to be a man. But either way, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, my thing is, I don't know. Damon, you got any thoughts on it? I don't know. I don't have any. I do, but I don't. I am a little leery about it. But if it's been going on all this time, I mean, why is it such a big deal? Why are you up in arms? There's a lot of stuff that goes on. You know what we all should be mad about? America in general? How about our food supply? How about how the FDA allows X amount of bacteria or rot in our food supply? Maybe we should be concerned about that and less concerned about who's in the bathroom with us. That's my thing. I'm a little on the fence about it, but I will say this, but you really should be questioning your government. You should be asking things like, why do we have to have food designated as organic? Why can't it just be food? Like, some of the stuff that goes on here, y'all get mad about petty stuff. And at the end of the day, the big picture, you want to know why so many of us have cancer or other infections or inflammations in our body? It's our food supply. It's killing us. But, you know, I'm not going to go there because they might come get me. And I don't want nobody, please don't come get me. I'll shut up talking about it. Anyways, I think that's all. This video went way too long. I did not intend to ramble on like this. But Damon, thank you for joining me. And I think I had about 2 or 3 other I don't want to see a set of knockers next to me in a funeral. Oh. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. You know what, Damon? I need for you to get Texas in general to get on board with potty protector seats. That would be nice. I would like to come home and use a public restroom and have a potty protector. You know, it sucks to waste all that tissue lying in the seat. You know, if some should have to jump off where I have to go use the restroom, I'm just saying. And I would like to encourage all Macy's across the nation to please clean your bathrooms a little bit better. everyone I've ever gone in, no matter what city, what part of town I'm in, it's always suspect. But anyways, I'm out. Good night. Hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know how often I'm going to do these, but I just felt like talking tonight. So thanks for listening. Good night.